What's going on, everybody? Jay Hayes here. So today, well, this will probably be the first video on my channel where I'm actually going to be going over a very, very terrible situation, non-vape related. Now, if you found this video, basically, I've been doing YouTube videos for about 8 years, and I have other channels, and I'm making another channel. Basically, it'll be like hazers.co or something. I'll put a link in the description for it, but I figure I'd put this here just to kind of give you guys... Oh my God, what a fucking nightmare. Now, you're reading the title, right? Don't buy a weep head. Buyers beware. Okay. I'm going to show you some screenshots. I'm going to show you some conversations back and forth with the company called EWheels. Now, originally I had watched a video. And I'll just go ahead and I'll plug the video in the corner over here, and you'll see the video. You've seen these before where it's like the top 10 videos or top 10 gadgets, and you're like, oh, that's really nice. And if you're anything like me, you act on impulse by watching these videos. But the thing is, when you watch a lot of these videos, a lot of the people have never used the products. They're just... They viewed it from like a Reddit list or something, and then you're like, oh, let me do it on this, and then they show other clips of people riding it. That's not the case with me. When I review something, whether it's a vape, a phone, I buy it. Now, if a company sends it to me, that's totally fine. I'm still honest with that company. Look, this was fucked up when I got it. That's not the case here. The case here is I watch a lot of videos about this, the WePed series. Now, there's a lot of different versions. And oddly enough, when you look at WePed, they're supposed to be made in Korea. Which I don't want to take that away. That could be possibly true. I don't know. I can't get a hold of the original manufacturer. So what am I forced to do? Well, that's to get in contact with distributors and retailers in the United States. That's where things start getting a little bit squirrely. And the reason why that is because... well, this is a growing field, the electronic scooters. And a lot of people are getting into it, especially when you go to like resort towns or any type of vacation. You'll see people on these electric scooters. And these aren't to be played with. Well, I mean, you can't play with them, but they go anywhere between 10 miles per hour up to 90. It really depends on the brand of the scooter, the manufacturer, the model. There's a lot that goes into it. So I've been riding dirt bikes ever since I was a kid, so it's not a problem for me. Like, I'm not saying I would go 80 miles per hour, but I know how to ride. You see that RC8R behind me. That's not a green screen. That's real. I wouldn't recommend buying something that is super fast right off the jump, like I did. And it's not because I got into an accident. It's because of my experience. Now, this company knew that I had a YouTube. Whether or not they cared, well, they're going to care now because I'm going to show you some things of how not to successfully run a business. And this is why no one knows about you unless they do a Google search for a WePed and find you. The only thing I could find is essentially their website, EWheels.com. And they don't sell just WePed, but when you look at the ratings and the reviews of what a lot of people have said about this company, I'm just going to go ahead and flip this screen around real quick. As you can see here, we're on the website, EWheels.com. This is their little company code policy. You know, you could go over this and read it if you see fit. Probably a little small on the screen, but what we really want to focus on is this review section right here. And I didn't do this prior to buying it because you have to realize that when you see reviews on a website like this, these are what's allotted by the company. They're not going to show you the 1-star reviews and the 2 stars. They're going to delete them. So what your best bet is doing is finding them on Google. But the odd part is when you look at EWheels on Google, guess what you won't find? Any review section. Do you know why that is? Is because they don't have a brick and mortar. It's just an online website. So no matter how much you search to find it, it's going to be very difficult if you could even do that. So anyway, I was on the site and I said, you know what? I'm going to buy a little mini jammy to see how that is, and the SST, which is their top model. So after watching a lot of these videos, I said, okay, I'm going to go to this website. I'm going to buy it. Even though I know in my heart of hearts that a lot of these people that are doing videos of things like this, they don't own it. Right? They only go based off of what other people write about it or videos and how cool it is. And of course, they always associate the price of a product, like most people, to kind of justify how good that is. How far from the truth that statement can be is astronomical. Let me explain why. So as you can see here, I had ordered the WePed SST, which is their top of the line for $72.99. Now, before you think that that's a crazy price, please, we're not going to go into prices right now. We're just not. That's another video entirely, and that will be on the other channel. And then you see down here, $22.80. That's for the Mini R, and then free shipping, so that's fine. So I got a response from Jason from WePed. Thanks so much for the order. The Mini R will be going out on Monday. Should be with you by the end of the week. For the SST, we're working with WePed Numo, I'm assuming that's the other company, to express out some high temperature insulation, sheathing and change the banana butt connector. Absolutely fantastic name. For make changing tires easier, would you prefer having these improvements done, which will delay the shipping by 1 to 2 weeks? Ship out as was constructed by the factory. Enjoy your weekend. And then he shows a picture. I responded with, as long as I have it by the end of July for the SST, I'm good. The Mini R is perfect. Thank you, sir. We'll do our best to get the SST moving, and you'll see that the responses are right on point. To 6:44, 6:53. Yeah, I leave for South Carolina on August 3rd, so that is technically 3 weeks, but you should be good. No? Okay. And then you'll see here 2 minutes later. Yes, we have a new tech hired to take on special projects like this. WePed has committed to expressing us out these parts next week. When I first got this, it was a little banged up on the top left corner, but it was essentially wrapped inside of a blanket and then bubble wrap around that. Okay, yeah, no. We're going to chalk it up to, okay, that's damage from FedEx. It has nothing to do with the company. I start opening up and I take out the charger. First thing I notice that it's cracked. So I'm not going to use that just because it has electronics and you're going to plug it into a wall. So I said, when you ship the SST, please include a new charger that this was crushed. Okay, fine. July 16, 5:34. As I'm taking it out, look what else happens. The little speedometer plastic screen cracked. Okay, I'm going to chalk that up to also damage and shipping. But it starts to get a little bit more grim. You see these scratches here? Okay, so these scratches, there would have been no way for those to be scratched up from the top left corner of the box, just because that's folded down. And I'm going to show you, when I show you the pictures they sent me, that this was scratched already. So I'm thinking that this was used before me. Now, these are pretty deep scratches, but WePed is not the only company to ship out like this. There are other companies that, not as pricey as these, but are also all dinged up. They just don't give a shit. You see that this is a 536, and I said, was this used? So I go outside, take it outside, and sure enough, look at the size of the dent in the billet aluminum. Now, there's no way that I would do this. Anybody that knows my channel, I'm just not a person to deliberately destroy shit, especially when I spent $2,300, and especially when you see all my responses to this company about it being all dinged up like this. You can even see over here it's a little dinged up on the edge. This is the response. This is William. I don't know who the fuck William is, but he could suck my balls. Let's go over what William says. No, this wasn't used, and I apologize for the shipping damage. We even asked our fulfillment team for this to be especially protected for shipping. That's it. He sent me a picture of this, which is fine. It did look like this, but the whole top corner was in fact dinged up. Let me pull up an image real quick. You could see in the original picture that it had this blanket on there with the tape, so that's all good. But do you see up here? This was all nicked up. It was kind of damaged, and you'll see another. Again, this is after me opening it up, but you could see that it clearly took some damage, right, on the side. So shitty packaging, just not very good. And we'll go over that in a second, and then you'll see another picture of it here. So when we go back to over here, and you look at how they packaged it up, you know, they did the best that they could, and I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. When you look at the packaging, right, they did wrap it up. I'm going to show you a picture of when I got the Kaboo, how that was packaged, and I didn't have any damage. I also got the wide wheel, which is also an image on the screen right now, that also did not have damage. Well, there was a little bit of damage, but nothing as severe and dinged up as what this was. But if you, now I cannot zoom in on this picture. This picture is absolutely super small. So here's the picture that they sent me. Now, if you look at this picture, you see that it's already scratched up over here. You see that scratch. That same scratch that is literally side by side. I'll try to do it where I could show you the images side by side. You can see the scratch right here. And then we go over here and you see it again right there. So this is prior to them packing it up, and it has the scratches there already. So that damage was already like that. That could be where it's not from them and it's from the original manufacturer, and that's fine. That's fine. But what about the dings? What about the scratches? Okay, so let's go back to this email real quick. And then he says, we have a couple of options. We can have this returned to us for a full refund. We'll schedule a pickup for Monday morning or exchange this for another new unit. Now, I had already tried this at this point, right? I already took it around the parking lot here. Didn't go far, and it was good. It was stable, but it was very dinged up, and I wasn't happy. So I knew at this point, after reading that email or exchange for another unit, as a business, having something being picked up that's heavy is going to cost me $100, $150 at minimum. Right? Even if it's under insurance, it's still going to cost me that. So that's $200, right? In exchange for a new unit, this one worked. Like, I rode it around the parking lot. It's not a very big parking lot. Just to test it, make sure it was all good to go. And it rode fine. Rode perfect, actually. But it was just aesthetically not pleasing. So we're going to go back to this email. And I knew that, okay, as a business, I'm not going to make this guy pick it back up. So I offered other alternatives, being a good customer, okay? And then I sent him the image of this again. And then the shock, how it's got this lovely scratch. These things should not have been damaged. Like, they just should not have been. And then the footprint or the dirt or the schmutz, if you will, on the little foot, the kick, whatever, the grip tape part has got some dirt in there. Okay, I can clean it up. It's not the point. This is $2,300. When you buy a brand new phone, do you have to wipe it off? No, it's clean. So I said, it even has dirt in the wording, look below. I wouldn't mind keeping it if you would prorate it for all the damage. It works good, but I can't change it to go over 16 kilometers per hour. There's no manual either for it. Now, there is a way to do this, but of course, there not being a manual, I didn't know how to do it. You essentially have to snip wires. Thank God I didn't, because, well, that would void the warranty. Could you ship a new charger if you can prorate it? If not, I don't mind shipping it back, but this is damaged pretty bad and dinged up. Now, you saw the pictures. I'm not making this up. Also, look at your picture of the handlebars. You'll see it scratched in the original bracket. William, Mr. fucking cockbag, we're going to go over why he's a cockbag in a second. Jay, sorry for the mess here. This is not normal. We can offer you replacement dash throttle plus $200 back on this order, if that would work for you. Now, that's not necessarily bad, but $200 on a $2,400 or $2,300 model is not enough. It's just not. And I'm not going to replace the dash throttle. I'm just going to leave it the way that it is. You know, would I replace it? Absolutely not. I would have just left it without the screen, maybe thrown some saran wrap around it and called it a day. Here's my response. I would be happy with just $500 back. I'll keep it dinged up. I was going to do an unboxing and put this on my YouTube, but kind of glad I didn't. Would have looked pretty bad. And I wouldn't have made this video. I would have told people about the scenario, but the recent situation that just happened with this company is making me do this video. The box was pretty bad, but you guys, even shipping this back would cost a lot, wouldn't it? I understand what it's like to run a business, and I'm not trying to be a shitty customer at all, so you can tell I even ordered the SST. I also wanted to know how the SST was doing as far as delivery is concerned. Keep in mind that this is the Mini I'm talking about that I got, not the SST. I don't want all the money back. I just feel that $500, I'm not too much worried about the replacement of the control. I do need a new charger, though, because the charger that's in it is dinged up, and I wouldn't want to put that or plug that into a wall. That's text-to-speech, or speech-to-text. Jay, and of course we'll send you out a replacement charger. We'll chat with the techs about the speed limiting too. Though, can you not press the mode button to switch virtual gears? Thank you, William. I think I cut the wire for limiting. I didn't. I'm saying I think I cut the wire to remove the limiting. That's when I found out from Google within 10 minutes. Is there a manual for this anywhere? Is the $500 refund okay, especially since I bought the SSD? This is where it starts to get a little crazy. Sorry. $500 is out of our range. Let's get this one packed up, put back in the box. Does having this picked up from the original address Monday morning work for you? As for the SST, it sounds like if guaranteed perfection is the key, perhaps this isn't the way moving forward. As we simply cannot guarantee shipping won't cause some damage. Why can't you? Do you mean to tell me that if I bought a laptop from Mac or HP or wherever, and it came with a cracked screen, that Apple or HP, they wouldn't have packed it up with proper padding inside of the box to stop it from being scratched up at $2,000? And we're talking about a $7,300 scooter here. We're talking about the SST. Do you mean to tell me that if I bought a phone that's extremely fragile, that box isn't going to come dinged up? What's your argument going to be? Is, well, that's going to be too expensive. That's going to be too expensive to put foam padding in a fucking box. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. For $7,300, you're telling me that you cannot guarantee perfection? What about when you buy a scooter from a motorcycle place? How do they get them? They get them in a fucking crate. And those could be $5,000 Vespas. Those are gas scooters. They don't come dinged up. So what's your argument going to be? Quality control. Now, if you were using that argument for quality control for a Chinese product, I might give you a throwaway and say, you know what, you're right, but you're wrong. Because MacBooks also come from China. So to use the argument that you can't guarantee perfection for a 70, could you imagine buying a brand new car and you getting in it and as you're driving out of the parking lot, the fucking wheel falls off? Do you think wherever you bought that car from, they're going to say, well, you know what? The brand new car was on, or the used car was only $6,000. Used car. You get that? Used car was only $6,000, but we can't guarantee that the fucking wheel won't fall off. Really? Wow. Wow. It's amazing to see what $7,300 does. It's not a big deal because their profit margin isn't high enough. Or is it? I know the profit margin on the WePets. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. And it's a lot more than $500. Oh, well, at least on the SST. On the Mini R, it's about $700. But I digress. Let's continue through the mail here. This is going to get fucking fun. And we'd hate for you to be disappointed any further, especially since the SST is not a cheap scooter. You know, if you would have read your own sentence, you simply cannot guarantee shipping won't cause some damage. There are companies that literally put, this just irritates me so much, there are companies that put foam padding in $1,000 scooters to stop it from getting damaged, but you couldn't figure that out, so you decided to use your grandmother's blanket and wrap that around a box with some duct tape and saran wrap to hopefully that would protect it. I don't know about you, but if I broke my arm, I wouldn't put saran wrap around it to protect it from breaking further. I would probably put a cast. But, you know, what do I know? Let's just keep going. Please confirm the pickup of the delivery address on Monday and we'll send you over the label. Wait, for $7,300, it isn't guaranteed perfection? Yes, you can refund me and set the pickup for Monday. I'm going to skip forward because it's the mailing addresses. Well, not like I really give a shit. We can never guarantee perfection, I'm afraid. Aside from surprise damage, which really is disappointing, scooters may arrive with dust, dirt. Sweetheart, that's not dust and dirt. That is dings and dents. Those, while they all start with D, they're not really the same thing. If I had a dirty dick, would be a lot different if I had a dented dick, right? Like like common sense here. If you have something that's dirty and dusty, it's really not the same thing. While I know you probably think they do because it's not your business. You understand? This William guy is just the tech support for this EWheels company, and he's kind of representing WePed in a sense because you sell it. So I would assume, I guess it doesn't really bother you that you've lost business. And we're going to go into this because not only did they lose business on this WePed, they lost money, I'm sure of it. They lost the SST sale. But wait, there's more. I feel like I'm Bob Parker on Price is Right, but wait, there's more. And we don't want to disappoint you further if this happens. If you could try to pack up the Mini R handlebars in there using the blankets. You didn't use the fucking blankets inside. Use the blankets on the outside. And it'd be different if you were using a comforter. Instead of using a blanket that was $3 at Walmart that has no padding. It's just like throwing a paper towel around the fucking box. It's not going to do anything. Okay. We'd appreciate it. Pickup scheduled for Monday between 8 and whatever the fuck. Pickup confirmation attaches the label return. Okay, once you get it back, refund the part of the order. And when does the other refund go back into the card? That's correct. The SST refund should be back in your account in a few days. We have processed this on our end immediately. The Mini R we have refunded as soon as we receive it back. As a follow-up, he touches base 3 minutes later. Please keep in mind it was already packed up at this point. Please don't ride the WePed anymore. We don't generally take returns on used products. You know what? I don't generally open up a box and get a fucking used product either. So I don't think we could generally ask for recommendations at this point. Because if we're going based off of what was generally in the box, we don't generally take returns. Motherfucker, how the fuck would... Okay, I'm just... Okay. I packed it up after 2 minutes of riding it. Absolutely true. Great, thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend. William, did you get the scooter back? This was on the 22nd, 5 days later. We should see this back tomorrow. I had thought that it was delivered. There's the tracking or whatever. Okay, thank you. Jay, just to let you know, the Mini R made it back to me. We refunded you in full. Thank you. Sorry this didn't work out, William. When you look at that, it kind of seems like we're on a good sense of direction. Right? Like we're on a good path. Okay, you know what? We screwed the pooch on this one and fucked your mother. I'm sorry. We'll try to fix it. Make it better. If not, let's wipe our hands like Punch's Pilot and call it a day. Great. So I had this great idea last night that I was going to repurchase it. Give them a second chance. Literally. The same exact order. Went to the website. Because, you know, oh, whatever. Let's see if they'll fix it. Right? Whatever. This is them talking about the refund. Fine. Now, this was last night at 1:24 in the morning. Okay, I'm going to do an order again. Is the SST ready? Now, I did the order. I don't have the email, but you'll see what his response is. William is here and sales. Sorry, there's no way we're going to do a repeat of this again. The order has been refunded. Goodbye. And I said, wow, okay. Was not expecting that response. Professionalism right out the window. You're going to make this YouTube video fun. There's no way we're going to do a repeat of this again. The order has been refunded. Goodbye. Let me tell you something. First off, fuck you, EWheels. I'm going to go out of my way to make sure people know about your customer service, not by a shitty review on your website that is absolutely inaccurate. I'd love to know all the negative comments. I'm sure we'll see the comments down below of all the people, and I won't filter through them. But we're not going to do a repeat of this again. You're right. You had a chance to redeem yourself. I was going to do an opening, and then like a video of it. And I've always done video openings just because of the type of job that I do now. But we're not going to do a repeat of this order. So you could have packed it up properly this time. But instead, you have no faith in your sales team or your customer support or the owner of your company to put a boot in people's ass to make sure that they work out things better. This is why I'm going to create my own electric scooter company. Because of people like this. Because of shitty fucking companies that have no backbone and they can't fix anything about the way that they do business because they just want people to accept it. They're in it for the money. They're not in it for the customer satisfaction. Because if they were, they would be like, you know what? Hey, you know what? We're gonna make sure it's good to go this time. We're gonna do what's good. You know, like when they do the little reviewers where they send out their products where it's perfect. So I have to give a little bit of an update. I get it. It's a different camera angle, different microphone, but it needs to be done. So I got an email back from this company, and oh my God, I could share all this, but it wouldn't even matter, right? Essentially what it comes down to is, okay, you know, me redoing the order, it was disingenuous. They thought I was fucking around. They thought it was a joke. Thought I was playing. I don't know who this fucking William guy is, but I can tell you I absolutely despise him. Despise him with every inch of my soul. Because it's like going back to the point of a Honda Grom, you get brand new for $3,500, plus tax, whatever. Still, you can buy 2 of the Weepeds, and I'm sorry, 2 of the Groms to get 1 of the SSTs. But the point I was trying to make is, look, I've even dug into where this company was from. If you look up EWheels, right, LLC, it's based out of Florida by a guy named Jason. But this guy named Jason is from London. Can't find him anywhere. Found his LinkedIn, no picture. Found his Facebook, fine. Then I started digging into, like, who I'm speaking to. Is the Jason guy that's in the email the owner? Because, well, this William guy was like, don't assume anything. All of the people that are associated with the original company out of Florida either aren't in the United States, they registered a business in the United States. Fine, whatever. Even though there's, okay, I'm not going to get into that. That's another video. But then, none of the people, I'm not going to put all their names out there. You want to do the research, whatever. But then you ship it back from Arizona, but I think it's shipped from California. I can't remember the label. So there's a place in Arizona, which is basically a warehouse. I'm assuming there's something in California. Can't find no addresses, right? But you can find this Better Business Bureau one that's got 2 complaints. I should have left the complaint there. There's so much shit going on with this company, I have no idea. And when you look at WePed, the original website is offline, but they specifically state on their Facebook that there's certain people to look out for. And if you remember back to the original email, just go ahead and plug that on the screen real quick. They had mentioned they were getting stuff from Numo Global. I'm not saying that the WePeds are fake. I'm not. But when you look at WePed's post on their official Facebook, it says, you know, this about Numo Global. So there's all of that. I don't recommend dealing with this company. I still, after talking to them for all this bullshit, I do not recommend you to deal with this company at all. Even in all my years of doing vape reviews, now, it doesn't quite scale, well, no, actually it does scale up with high-end mods, but I've never actually had a company be this nasty to me, and that's coming even from places like Ginger Vapor. I know you have no idea what this is about, but if you watch me on this channel, you'll know about that situation. I've never had companies be so deliberate about, hey, fuck you, and I appreciate the honesty, but this is shitty customer service. You could have fixed it. I bought the same order again. Is it that you don't have a new WePed and you were going to basically fix that speedometer and fix that dent, replace those couple parts, and then sell that as brand new, even though it's clearly been used and it's all just replaced parts? It's not a whole brand new unit. I hope that now I've looked for other companies in the United States, and if WePed, if you guys are out there and like the actual company, not shitty EWheels, and you need a good person that can push it, that will back the product and give customer satisfaction, reach out to me. Support at Hazers, HAZERS.co. I'm sure that they don't have a contract, but even if they do, there's plenty of other stores that are selling those, well, not so much the SST models, but I would never, ever, ever allow anything that I've ever sold in the future or present to go out looking like somebody took a little baby ball peen hammer, dinged shit up, and just scratched it all up and wrapped it with a fucking blanket like it was a hot dog with some dough around it. It's not going to work. I'm spitting everywhere. It absolutely irritates me that there's companies out here that you're giving this kind of money to. I got my money back on all accounts, and that is by their doing. I don't want to give them a high fucking 5, because even if they didn't do it, I would have still got the money back. So it's just a shitty fucking company. Stay away from EWheels.com. If you got to buy a WePed, I'm sure they don't all come like this. But if you have to buy the new models, that's the only company that I could find that sell them. And I suggest you stay the furthest away from that shitty ass customer service, their email response time, everything about it. Until they can unfuck it, stay away. And I've kept it real. They have not. Jay's out.